Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Noobster here with another Wonderlands video. So what I got for y'all today is a Trap Scallion, so Stabbomancer Spellshot build. And before we go into it, I want to just give a quick shout out to my sister. She also has a YouTube channel. She does more vlogging style videos. So if you guys could just spare a minute, go check out her channel. Give her a sub. We sort of do like challenges and like random vlogs and stuff on there. It's mainly hers, but I pop in sometimes. So if you guys do, leave a comment down in one of her videos or her most recent video letting her know that Noobster sent you or whatever. And I'll leave her channel in the description as well as the comment section below. Another shout out. A lot of this gear I got from Pheonix, Muncher, and my boy an enormous dab. So thank you guys. They're all from my Discord. So y'all guys are awesome. Pheonix has a channel. I'll leave his also in the description and a comment. So go ahead and check out their channels, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, hopping right into the build video. So basically, the main premise of this build is to constantly have your action skill and your spells. Now, you won't be able to last in From the Shadows for the whole time, or for like an extended period of time, but what you will do is get it back a lot faster. So the premise is, you go ahead, you use your From the Shadows, alright? We're gonna wait for it, you'll do your shooting and all that, and then boom, now the cooldown is there. We go ahead and pop our Buffmeisters. We keep getting them back. And if you look down below, we have our From the Shadows back. So, yeah, you can get it real quick. And by the way, you'll have your spells all the time. And that's because of the Spellshot capstone. So you guys might know about that. And as you can see, we have 0 shield. That's also from the Spellshot tree. But enough of showing you guys this. Let me actually hop right into the skills themselves. So, I'm trying to not use any of the exploitable / broken skills like contagion or double knot. So, this build does not have any of those. But anyway, so this is a From the Shadows build, for starters. We go 5 out of 5 in Arsenal for the extra gun damage. We have 3 out of 3 in haste. This is for the extra movement speed. And because we're going to be casting our spell, this effect is going to be doubled often. And on top of that, Buffmeister gives you a speed bonus too. So you're just zipping like crazy. Next, we have Swift Death. This is going to be to make use of haste. And the faster you move, the more damage you deal. So when you're moving and you're shooting, you're going to do a ton of damage. Next, we have 2 out of 3 in Exploit Their Weaknesses. This is to go down further, but this also helps because we're not inflicting too many different statuses, but maybe like 2 or 3 or whatever. But basically, the number of statuses you inflict, the more gun damage you get. So we get at least a little bit of extra bonus. Next, we go into Elusiveness. This is so you can sprint and shoot at the same time, which is super useful if you want to be able to use Swift Death and Haste. This goes wonderful with it. And then the rest of the 2 points we put into Sneak Attack. We would have tried to use more points in here, but we had to go down into Sever the Thread. So that's all we have for Stabbomancer. Now, hopping right into the Spellshot skill tree. A lot of this, guys, is very flexible. I think the key things you want are magic bullets. You kind of want to have just warming up, high thread count, and 1 slot, 1 kill, and then Sever the Thread. So let's go right into it. So we went 3 out of 3 in magic bullets. I think we went 2 out of 5, but then we're getting 2 from our class mod into whatever the skill is. I'm not going to pronounce it, but y'all know it, the reload speed one. We have 5 out of 5 in just warming up. This is going to increase our fire rate like crazy. We have insane fire rate in this build. We have 4 out of 5 in Font of Mana, so you can literally put more points into this skill here, you can put more in here, but I like the balance, especially because you can get your action skill cooldown really fast anyway, and your spells instantly anyway. I mainly get this because it does help at least lower the amount of time for the action skill cooldown. This right now allows me to only have to spam 4 spells to get it quickly, but if I didn't have these points, I would have to spam the spell 5 times. And there's a little cooldown with Sever the Thread, which sort of impacts that. So I prefer to have a couple of points in here. Next, we have Glass Cannon. This is going to make it so that we can't regen our ward, but we get spell damage. This is not a spell damage build, but it will help with our magic bullets. But on top of that, we have a Cursed Wit, so this is sort of just an easy point to put in. Next, we put 1 into high thread count, and then we're getting 1 extra from our class mod. We put 5 into imbued weapon. This is going to help get us extra damage because of our spell. We have 3 in Warcaster. Now, this is just so if you're using, a gun that needs to reload, it might just reload on its own. Not essential. I like to have it, so if you want, you can put these 3 points into this one right here or a Font of Mana, but this is how I like to spread it out a little bit. Unfortunately, you can't put these 3 points in the Stabbomancer tree, so just try to figure out where you think it would fit best on the Spellshot tree. And yeah, we just want to use them to sort of get down to Sever the Thread. Next, we have 1 slot, 1 kill, 1 point here. This is going to give us 44% extra gun damage when you combine the 11 stacks that we can get a total of spell weaving. And then last but not least, Sever the Thread. This is so we can constantly have our Buffmeister. And yeah, real quick, going into hero stats, I maxed out strength and dexterity. Now for the rest of the points, I did put them into attunements. This is so, again, it helps with making sure that I can get my action skill back really quick. But you can put them into Constitution if you'd like. If you guys are dying, this is not the tankiest build, especially because we are using Glass Cannon. So you can shift a few of these points. You can even take some off of Dexterity and max out Constitution if you want to. So that's pretty much that. But yeah, let's hop right into the inventory. So we have the Goblin Pickaxe. This is mainly for its effect that when you pick up cash, it can be after melee or any of the cash that you pick up, that increases your movement speed. Next, for the weapons, y'all know I love the purple frost weapons. So here we got a Spriggan. We are also putting a Nightshade. So whatever you like more. This has a little more fire rate, but I do like the extra critical hit damage. And just overall, I just think the Hyperius weapons just feel better. Next, we have a Liquid Cooling. It's gotten a little better. Honestly, it can melt bosses too. I just think the other weapons can do it slightly better. Heck, even the Spriggan can do it better. But if you guys want that nostalgic feeling of being able to melt bosses with a Liquid Cooling, feel free to do so. It still does the job just as well. Well, I wouldn't say just as well, but it does it good enough, right? It actually does melt them pretty fast, but it's just these are just crazy. The Sword Explosion, the Gyre, and even the Spriggan, they just melt so much faster. It's crazy. Next, we have the Sword Explosion, and y'all know about this one. It's crazy. It's just such a good weapon. I can't not include it in the build. And also, really quick, going into the enchants, this one has on spellcast increased damage dealt by 15% for 10 seconds. And then these have the on action skill start increased damage dealt by 20% for 20 seconds. So that's what we have. Now the Gyre is a little different for no particular reason other than I just couldn't re-roll the enchant. So I didn't bother and I thought this enchant was good enough, so that's what I'm keeping it. This is a Primordial times 12, so it will consume 2 ammo per shot, but it melts really quick as well. Like, do not sleep on the Gyre, guys. It is just slightly worse than the Sword Explosion, but the Sword Explosion can get old very quick, so I honestly love using the Gyre, and it melts super fast too. But this has the enchant on action, or on spellcast, increase frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds. Next, we are including all the rings that you guys may want. So we have these shotgun rings. We have 4 SMG rings, actually. We have the ones with action skill cooldown rate, and we have some that are just straight up. All 3 skills are put into SMG crit damage. And by the way, they are the shotgun ones are championship rings, and then the other rings for the SMG and pistol, they're mood rings. So yeah, we have 4 SMG rings and then 2 pistol rings. So these ones, that'll help with the liquid cooling if you guys want to use that. And do not bother about the other rings down here. They are just there because I don't have space in my bank. Next, we have the Cursed Wit. So this Cursed Wit is not even a primordial. It is just a volatile one that I had. You don't really need to have a primordial because you are never going to have it up. So, but this one has the enchant while action skill is active, increase frost damage by 55%. Now, because you can get your From the Shadows back, you'll have this often, but again, I don't think for the most part people struggle with the mobbing. So the other enchants should be good enough with mobbing, but when it comes to bossing, this helps a ton because bonus 55 or 50% frost damage is huge. So I prefer to have one while action skill is active enchant because those tend to have huge bonuses as compared to the on spell cast and the on action skill start. Next, we have the Cape of Tides. This is a primordial. It is Spellshot and Spore Warden. We wanted to get +1 in high threat count, so that's why we got this. Next, we also, or the next reason we have this is because Cape of Tides is just OP. Another good option would be the Smart Armor. I just don't have a good Smart Armor which has +1 in high thread count. I may, but I haven't been able to find it. So, and this one has awesome passives with movement speed. That's going to be damage related, especially with Stabbomancer. Then we have plus 41% for gun damage, and then also plus 25% for all damage dealt. So this is just such a good class mod. I had to use it. But yeah, that's the class mod. Next, we have a Infused Thurge. This is a volatile. So again, this build slaps, and it could slap even harder if you had a primordial version. But yeah, this one is frost damage and spellshot power, and it has a passive of all damage dealt and loot luck. Loot luck I didn't like, but it's okay. I couldn't find a better one, so this is what I'm rocking with, and it still does the job. Now, the special thing about this legendary amulet is that when you cast a spell, it reduces your remaining action skill cooldown by 20%. That's why you were seeing that we were able to get our From the Shadows back so fast. Because, you know, with the combination of this along with, what was that skill called? Sever the Thread? Yeah. You basically have unlimited spells, and when you keep casting them, you reduce your action skill cooldown. So this one was awesome, and honestly, I've been loving this so far. Next, this is not actually the spell we're using. We're actually sticking with the Dark Magic Buffmeister. This one has on spellcast increased gun damage by 30% for 10 seconds. This is what I want for the most part, but unfortunately, I do not like that enchant as much because I do want to get this on action skill start increase gun damage by 40%, and that's the same with the Frost Buffmeister. So I will try to re-roll those, but unfortunately, through all my re-rolls, I have not had the luck yet. But this is what we have for now. This is the primary one we use just for survivability. It helps. It's good enough for bossing, but if you do want to do the most bossing damage, the Frost one is just amazing. It's because, you know, we have Frost, so that'll help with the Cape of Tides and the Frost or the Soaked effect. You just get more damage. And on top of that, we have bonus Frost damage from our amulet. So I prefer having Frost, but that's only for bossing side of things. Otherwise, when I'm mobbing, I need some sustain, so the Dark Magic helps with that one. Real quick, going into my myth rank, just so you guys can see, and I don't know why my character is turned like that, but that's okay. So we have 83 points in Archmage, and they are distributed as such. Now we have 82 in Blade Master, and this is how they're distributed. Next we have Deadeye, boom, and Druid. So Deadeye does have 22 points in gun damage, but I will stop speccing into that. I've actually been speccing into the other things because I don't want gun damage to get too high, and then I can't really make builds because it'll just be from my myth rank. They really need to enable the ability to disable this like they did in all the other games, but unfortunately they don't have that yet. But anyway, guys, that is the build video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please check out Pheonix and my sister's channel. I will link them in the description. If you guys have a couple minutes, please do so. Really quick, I found a mistake in the inventory. I was actually supposed to use this goblin pickaxe, not the dark magic one. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize, but yeah, that's why the enchants were stacking. I didn't realize that I had this on another goblin pickaxe. This enchant right here, the on action skill start, increased gun damage by 40%. So that's what I've equipped. That is what is going to be in the save file. And I'm going to keep the existing enchants on the other Buffmeisters just because they're good enchants and they will not overlap with any of the other gear. So I wanted to just clear that out. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Peace out, guys.